Jerusalem. This is the Temple Mount behind me, sunrise here on the 54th day of the war here in Israel. Wanted to give you a little update on some things that I learned overnight. The hostages were released and were able to get back. And again, that's a wonderful thing to have the hostages. But again, it sets up a dilemma. The dilemma is the longer you wait, the harder it is to restart. Also, Secretary Blinken did arrive in Israel, I believe yesterday, maybe evening, and he's here they're hoping to extend the ceasefire. The ceasefire is set to expire in about 15, 16 minutes unless it gets renewed, and maybe watch for that on the news feed. We have Dan that'll kind of keep an eye on that if they do announce that the ceasefire has been extended. There's been talk yesterday evening about being extended for 4 hours. I still haven't seen that has happened. The agreement has happened. So that's something that obviously I think they've paused this long. I think pausing a little longer probably isn't the end of the world. But I wanted to read you an article All Israel News posted, and it was about the negotiations in Qatar. This is it's a little tongue-in-cheek. The Qatar peace negotiations must have taken a page out of Donald Trump's bestseller, Art of the Deal, because they floated a deal that they're sure no one can refuse. Tongue-in-cheek. According to media reports, quote, Qatar sought to mediate a ceasefire deal to end the Gaza war, which would free the remaining 150 hostages, returned in exchange for the release of a large number of Palestinian security prisoners. So we know that once over 1,000 were released Palestinian prisoners for one Israeli soldier. So that number must be massive, the number of Palestinians. Of course, the author says this, let that sink in for a moment. For the price of ending the war, Israel gets back her people, the same ones who were forcibly taken from the comfort of their homes, starved, beaten, tortured, but nonetheless the lucky ones who were kept alive by one pita sandwich a day. As bad as it has been for them, they were not butchered like cattle or set ablaze with their parents and siblings or baked in ovens or decapitated. So when we start to realize how bad it was, and I think that's one of the reasons that I'm here, is to say, you know, a couple months later, we start to forget how bad it was. The same thing happened in 9/11 in the United States. The further you get from the rawness of the tragedy and the horrificness of it, the less we feel angry. Well, we have to stay angry because of just the extreme nature of the killings, the brutality, the rapes, beheadings. I mean, I was given a video from one of the Hamas videos that Israel has been showing journalists, and my stomach's turning still. I couldn't sleep last night because of the images. We cannot forget what happened here. Israel has to take out the Hamas infrastructure, the terror network, the leadership. You know, can you ever take out the Hamas ideology? Probably not, but you can definitely dismantle the terror structure and their ability to attack Israel like they did previously. So I think Israel has no choice, and all their leaders are saying that we are going to continue this until Hamas is wiped out. And I think that's what they have to do. I think there's really no option here. Today I'm going to be interviewing Pastor Menno Kalischer right here. This is the Haas Promenade, just one of the most beautiful views of the old city. You can see there the Temple Mount where the Dome of the Rock standing. The view of Western Jerusalem, which is the Jewish area. We actually are staying right out here where all those cranes are. The Knesset's just down there. And then to the right of the Temple Mount, you have the Mount of Olives, the sun's rising, just hitting all of those buildings over there. This is all basically Arab areas over here on this hill and back up that way. And then all the rest of this side of Jerusalem is primarily Jewish. So an amazing sight, an amazing, beautiful view as the sun's coming up. But I just want your prayer today. Pray for Israel. Pray for the end of the hostages' captivity. We heard more about that they were tortured, basically, some were actually tortured, but like they showed this 13-year-old boy the Hamas rape videos, and they left it on a circular play. I mean, that could scar someone forever, you know. Think about how bad it was. The little girl that only whispered when she got home with her dad because she was so frightened, so terrified to talk loud because they had made her whisper. She had thought she was in prison for a year when he asked her how long she thought she had been in there because it was dark and in tunnels. So folks, it's just a horrific situation. Let's continue to pray for the end of all of this. Jesus is the answer. He's the only answer. He's the only one that can solve all of our problems that we've created. So let's continue to pray for Israel. Pray for our safety today as we go to Sderot, and they're going to be showing us some of the tragedies that unfolded there. I think over 40 or 50 people died there. And as you'll remember, in our lobby of our church, we have a metal tulip, and that is made from the metal that a Hamas rocket hit Sderot. So it's called the Sderot tulip, taking something that was used to kill, to create terror, and transforming it into a beautiful work of art. That's what God can do. And so let's keep that in mind. Pray for us today as we head in toward Gaza. We'll be only a couple miles away. But again, pray, I think, that the ceasefire extends a little bit longer, get a few more people out, and then Israel can continue to root out this horrible, horrible terror organization. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening.